Earle Sports Bets, yeah, the twins, they be checking in. Stacking up, green is the scene that you're stepping in. Winning is a trend, and we stay making dollars. Nerd talk with the sports bet scholars. Yeah, it's R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies.
We are live. Welcome back to another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. My name is Nicholas Earle. I'm joined here as always by my brother Tim. And today we got not as much playoff action as we've had as of late. We have one game in the NBA. We have one game in the NHL, which is the two greatest words in all of sports, Game 7. And then we have a full MLB slate as well. But before we get into today's games, before we get into today's slate, we'll take a look back at what happened yesterday. One went right, one went wrong in the world of sports betting. And yesterday, for me, was a slightly down day, down 1.58 units. And it was mainly because, baseball wasn't great. What was baseball? There we go. I was just writing down my results from yesterday. Starting with baseball, went 3, 5, and 2. And I believe one of the first 5 money lines that pushed ended up winning the full game. One of them lost the full game that blew it in the ninth. But started off really well the day yesterday, 2-0. Milwaukee money line in the first 5 under. It was 0-0 at the end of 5, and the Brewers win 3-1. So that was a nice start to the day. And then after that, it just was like bleh. San Fran, Philly, first 5 under 4 was a loser. Colorado first 5 pushed. Detroit first 5 pushed. Texas lost. Seattle lost. The Red Sox first 5 lost. Right the way though, the Oakland A's get the win, and we have Paul Blackburn day today, and then the Braves even money lose last night as well. In the NHL, just a heartbreaking loss on that one there. They score with about a minute and a half left in a game that really Nashville looked like the better team. And I feel like we could be easily talking about this series ended already, and it was 4-2 Nashville. Because Nashville, I feel like when you look at the series itself, was the better overall team. It's just fell apart late in games, and they outplayed the Canucks, and they deserved a better fate. But unfortunately, now we have to see the Oilers kick the crap out of the Canucks in about 4 or 5 games next round. Talk about a line, Tim, there. The Oilers, with no home ice advantage, are minus 220 to beat the Canucks in the next round.
So, Canucks.
No, that's telling me Oilers in 5. I will probably look to bet the Oilers to win game 1 in the series, maybe, something along those lines. But yeah, Oilers, I expect them to get the job done against the Canucks. And then in the NBA, though, the NBA was the only positive of my night, and I focused on one game. And it was the Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic. Whoa. First half minus 1.5. Full game minus 3.5. Winner there. 2-0 up 2 units in the NBA. But overall down 1.58 units because baseball and hockey were no fun. And we do have another game 7 that was forced last night. Of course, I left Vegas off my card. I did add Vegas to win the series as well as the Preds to win the series. I got plus 340 for Vegas. So now I have Vegas money line game 7 at plus 340. So I'm hoping they come through there for a nice little score there. But with that being said, not a great day yesterday.
Yeah, it wasn't fantastic either on the site. We were down 2.15 units. Hey, Newcastle scored. We had Milwaukee early, which was a nice winner. We had the under in the Everton game, which was also a nice winner. 1-1 going into halftime, and it finished 1-1, finished another 3. Beautiful. Over in the Cleveland-Orlando game, landed at 199, so I pushed. Nashville, I was on the Canucks, but site had Nashville. I was a loser. Detroit falls apart late. Seattle falls apart late. Boston was never in it. Oakland, minus 135 winner, and the Braves fall in 11 innings. So that was kind of rough to see. So overall on the site was down 2.15. Now, I would like to, because I know one person in our comment section after the stream was over said, nobody cares about your college baseball. Well, you know who you are. College baseball last night was fantastic. And it ended up being 10-3, up 7.75 units. NC State got the job done in Florida State, plus 190 winner. Kentucky couldn't get it done. Creighton, they couldn't either. Georgia Tech, they didn't. After that, I pretty much swept the board the rest of the night. Georgia, minus 130 winner. Mississippi State, nice winner. Texas State, Kansas State, Southern Miss, Texas, LSU upsetting the number one team in the nation. Troy and Oregon end up being a very, very nice college baseball night. I'm ready for another one to come through on a Saturday with a bunch of really, really good matchups again. So I'm excited. Yesterday, very, very good for college baseball. Site, not so much, but if you're on the member-only page, 10-3 up 7.75 units in college baseball.
There you go.
So
head over to the chat. Head over to the chat, and then we will get into today's card.
Yes. We got Vegas. Vegas Golden Knights looked good last night. Yes. Your NHL bracket is 83% correct so far. I don't remember what. Let's see. I know I had. I might have had Washington.
Oof.
Whoops. I have Toronto. I had Canes, and I had Toronto Canes. What was the other? Oh, I had Tampa. So that was a bust there. Western Conference. I had Colorado. I had Vancouver. I had Edmonton, and I have Vegas. So we'll see how that one goes. My NBA bracket's been good. My only two losers were the Clippers and the Suns. Clippers and Suns.
If Vegas and Boston win Game 7, the only ones I'll get wrong are the Preds and the Isles.
Morning, Tim. Are you doing this morning? I'm doing good. Canucks win at least one game. They won't get swept. There you go.
Yeah, maybe. Oilers in 5.
I'm happy I did not bet Cleveland last night.
Yeah, no, the markets were screaming Magic in that game.
Cleveland wins Game 7. Weather for the Houston Astros. It's a dome. Vegas cash riding my cup ticket. Me too. I have Vegas and Dallas both cup tickets. So that's kind of VGK in 7. Yes. Jays, Giants, Mets, Cleveland Red Sox, losers. Yes. Did y'all watch MLB Cleveland Guardians get shut out? Cleveland's going to regress. So as long as we all knew that. Astros minus 1.5. Baseball is harder to predict. Nah, I don't think so. ESB needs some MLB winners. Well, we'll try to do that. But first, how about a Game 7?
Yeah. We have the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Boston Bruins. The Bruins are on minus 135 favorites, total 5.5 in this game. Let's take a look at the line history in this spot. Where the line opened up at Boston minus 143, it's down to a 136. So we do have a move towards the Toronto Maple Leafs. Line opened up at a 5.5 at plus 104. It's now 5.5 plus 113. So we have a 9-cent movement towards the under here as well. Let's head over to the cash flow where you have 72% of the tickets and 50% of the cash is on the Maple Leafs. The line moving towards Toronto there. 68% of the tickets, 77% of the cash is on the under in this game as well. Now, I was looking through and I actually made a small mistake during my free pick video last night when I was revealing the order of the different series. In 2018, Boston won the first 2 games. Then it was Toronto, Boston, Toronto, Toronto, Boston. So they didn't split the first 2 games like they did in 2013 and this year. It started the series 3-3. Started off 5-1 Boston, then 3-2 Maple Leafs, 4-2 Boston, 3-1 Boston, 2-1, 2-1. And looking at the way these two teams are playing this series, I stayed off the side in this one mainly because I have a bigger than average bet on the Bruins to win the series in general. So I didn't feel the need to add more Bruins action tonight, I'm going to let that series future ride. I did take the first period under, though, for the free pick last night. I took the first period under 1.5. I look for Game 7 intensity to step up. Now, I do not like the full game under because it's a 5.5, and I can see some empty net shenanigans at the end of the game where a team is trailing and they pull a goalie multiple times, and then we see something on those lines. But I do like this first period to go under the total of 1.5. I'll look for both these teams to come out and play good, strong defensive hockey. And this game is really interesting because it's got narratives galore. The Boston Bruins, since the 2011 Stanley Cup win, are 3-4 in Game 7s. All 3 of those wins coming against the Toronto Maple Leafs. They are 0-6 in their last 6 closeout games. They lost the last 3, or the last 2 here against Toronto. They lost the last 3 against Florida, and then when you go back a couple more years, they lost Game 7 against Carolina. So in closeout games, that's not been their friend. And the Toronto Maple Leafs, I believe, are 0-6 in their last 6 Game 7s. So the Toronto Maple Leafs have not been able to step up in these Game 7s as well. There's ghosts in everybody's closets in this game, and I'm just going to let the series future ride out on the Bruins here. At this point, I'm not confident on it. I have a bad feeling I'm going to lose. I can't believe I'm going to lose this Boston series future when they're up 3-1 in the series. Very frustrating, but it is.
No,
what
don't
it is.
do that.
But I'm on the first period under 1.5 in this game. I'm not adding anything to Boston because I have a feeling my Boston series future is screwed.
Don't say that. Do not say that. I'm on Boston in this one. This is not. Sorry, I'm not Boston. I'm on Toronto. Sorry, you were just talking Boston. I was just typing in Boston College for baseball. So, no, I'm on the list. Huh?
It's one of the Fleury slips.
Yes.
Where you're. Yeah.
No, I got you. I've been on Toronto the entire series. I said that they were going to win the series. I said that this Toronto team's not the team of chokers that they used to be. They won a playoff series last year, and then they fell to a very, very hot Florida team. And there's no way Boston blows another 3-1 lead, right? That would be crazy. Not a chance they get PTSD from last year.
They absolutely can because we've seen them do it before.
No, there's no chance. Give me Toronto here. And you can get some nice plus money. And I believe I think I'm gonna quote you from the other day. Apparently there's no home ice advantage for Toronto. In Toronto, they seem to be playing better on the road. Because you look at it, they are 2-1 in Boston. They're 1-2 at home. So they've had the upper hand in Boston so far. I think they finished it out here. Give me the Leafs to make the second round.
Fair. I could see the Leafs winning, but I'm just gonna ride out my future.
Okay. Back to the check.
Yeah, I'm trying to find there we go. I was trying to find my NBA series futures because I just made a bet on one. For the next game we'll talk about. Cool. Let's take a look here. Boston money line. Yeah, if I were to play anything in this game, that was Boston. How'd you doing NHL? I mean, the playoffs have kind of been a little bit of a struggle. Leafs money line, Matthew Nyes goal, Morgan Geekie goal. I would like to find a prop for Brad Marchand to score the game-winning goal in overtime. Bruins in regulation. Definitely like the first period under. There you go. Domi point plus 106. I got 3.75 units on the Bruins to win the series. Not adding to it yet. Me neither. Bertuzzi over 2.5 shots. I like Domi point. Leafs can win with or without Matthews. Doesn't matter. I kind of hope Matthews is back. We don't know whether or not Matthews is back. And then Mo is saying he loves Markel. Interesting. I just made a bet on this next game, but in an indirect way. Or a direct but indirect way in this one here. Let's get into it. Into the NBA. Game 1, Western Conference semifinals. The Denver Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves. We have the Nuggets minus 4.5-point favorites, total 208.5. And that was loud. Let's take a look at the line history in this one here, where the line opened up around a 4. It's up to a 4.5 now. So we've had a slight move towards Denver. And then we have this line opened up at a 209. It's down to a 208.5. So a slight move towards the under here as well. I kind of think an under is probably a decent look in this game. Let's take a look at the tickets here. And we have a little bit. Wow. This actually is kind of surprising. We have 88% of the tickets are on the Minnesota Timberwolves. 52% of the cast. Public loving Minnesota here in this one. 53% of the tickets, 96% of the cash is on the over in this game as well. And I've made a move on this series. Now, this game has the feel where 4.5 could be a little high. Maybe. And that does make me a little bit nervous. But with that being said, I mean, for me in this game, I would lean Minnesota first half. If you're looking at it, the Nuggets are 0-5 on the first half spread so far in the playoffs. They lost every single first half against the Lakers, which shows they're just content with just hanging in games and then taking over late. And that's exactly what they do in Denver. And I will look for them to do that because we saw them do this twice where they went 3-0 against the Lakers in Denver. They went 1-2 against the spread. The only game they covered was game 1 in an 11-point victory. But then game 2, they beat the Lakers by 2 as a 7-point favorite. In game 5, they won by 2 as 6.5-point favorites. I don't know if I trust them to cover the 4.5 in this game, but the way I moved on this one here, and this is my series bets are bigger than my average bets. So I have the Denver Nuggets to win game 1 and the series at minus 120. That is the way I approach this game. Denver Nuggets, game 1 and series at minus 110. Or minus 120. My bad, minus 120.
I did take the Nuggets. I got them at 4. So I got them at a little bit of a better number last night. I just think that this series suits up well for the Nuggets. And I've seen a lot of people love Minnesota. To the point where I believe the series prop went from minus 225 to minus 200. So a lot of people were trying to tag on Minnesota as like a dog, which I can understand. And you look back at what Denver has done versus Minnesota, and it has not been good. They beat them last time, but did they actually take? Yeah, they split. They split 2-2. And they split 1-1 in each place. So it's been a pretty neutral series throughout the year, but I do like Denver. Denver just turns on something in the playoffs and really kind of just gets the job done. So Nuggets minus 4 to start off game number 1. This one, Nick.
I like it. Yeah, I'm just going to ask them to win the game and then the series. And then if they win game 1, I'll have minus 120 on them to win the series. So that's my approach to this one.
Sounds good.
Hopefully the series future goes better than the other ones I had because I had Suns and Sixers.
Yeah, no, that's not ideal.
Yeah.
Back to Chetnik. Where did you leave off?
There we go. Nuggets minus 4.5. There you go.
Yes.
Timberwolves money line. Nope.
From a Minnesota sports fan, so
yeah, I really want to go under 200, but yeah. I could see this being an under series. The Timberwolves have a really good defense, and I think we can see. I think when we saw overs in the last 2 series with these 2 teams, it was because the Lakers can't defend and the Suns can't defend. So, rolled the gold Nuggets. Yep. And unfortunately, we're not going to know who they're playing until tomorrow. I wanted to tie in a little 2-teamer with the Nuggets and the Avalanche in their second round futures. But unfortunately, if things go right tonight, that's just going to be a bigger number delay with the Nuggets. But yeah. A rise to the Padres from the Marlins. Yeah, I love that move. Yeah. What I miss, just the hockey game. and we're going over NBA. Bruins money line. That's the way I would look. I like the T-Wolves to cover first half, and I like the over. I think this is a great game. If you like the Denver Nuggets, and they've proved this during the playoffs, wait for them to go down and live bet them. That's the way to approach the Denver Nuggets right now in the playoffs is live betting them. You just have to have the right game plan heading in. Anthony Edwards is Jordan's lost son. We'll see. Nuggets minus 127. Fanatics got these promos. Ooh. I'm interested in that. I don't mind that at all. Let's have a great day off. What's good? Real Deal Prime. Public loves the Wolves. This isn't their year. It is not. It is not. Porter over 17.5 points. I like that. Oh, Jokic over 28.5 points. See, I want to look for a different Nugget to step up. I just don't know who. And then Edwards over 27.5 points. So you like the over in this game? It's pretty much what you're telling me. We got a bunch of these boosts over on Fanatics. Sweet. Yeah, they have a bunch of NBA profit boosts. There we go.
Oh, and then we have Marcos in the chat that hasn't learned that the Nuggets are wagging. I don't understand why I think Marcos just doesn't like me because his Warriors and Bucks are out. So he's gotta make sure that I don't have fun with the playoffs either. But let's hop into baseball.
Yeah. Ooh, I can do on Fanatics here. Jokic over 24.5 points, 11.5 rebounds, 7.5 assists, and the Nuggets money line, and I can boost that up to plus 390. Interesting. Let's get into baseball. This game was frustrating yesterday because, I pushed the first 5. I also used the Tigers as my up 2 runs promo team, and they were up 1-0, and they couldn't get that second run across, which was really frustrating. Let's switch all my stuff from NBA to MLB, and then we'll go from there, where we have this line opened up. Jeez. There we go. Clark Schmidt and Casey Mize. This line opened up at a 155. It's up to a 160 for the Yankees. So we have a slight move towards the Yankees here in this one. Line opened up in 8 minus 115. It's down to a 7.5 minus 105. So we have a move towards the under. We have a move towards the Yankees in this one. 87% of the tickets, 98% of the cash. We'll explain the line move towards the Yankees. 40% of the tickets and 52% of the cash on the under. We'll explain the line move towards the under in this game here. We have Schmidt and Mize. Mize a 3.08 ERA, 1.22 WHIP, 6.15 strikeouts per 9, which is 16%. 2.05 walks per 9, so he's not walking many batters. 287 BABIP, 308 FIP, and a 4.22 SIERA. On the other side, Clark Schmidt, 3.19 ERA, 1.39 WHIP, 9.87 strikeouts per 9, which is 26%. 3.37 walks per 9. Walks a little bit too many batters, but I don't know if the Tigers will be a team that really takes advantage of that. We'll get into that in just a second. 338 BABIP, a 409 FIP, and a 3.80 SIERA. Bullpens are about a wash in this game. Slight edge towards the Yankees, but nothing crazy. And the hitting advantage does go towards the Yankees. 122 WRC plus, which is third against righties compared to the Tigers, who are 88 WRC plus, which is 24th. This is an early game. This is a 105 game. We have the wind blowing in towards the third base line. The lines move down towards the under. I kind of see both these pitchers shoving a little bit here. I like Casey Mize. And Clark Schmidt, I think, can hold his own. I'm interested to see what this number is for a first 5 under, which I'm seeing a 4. I lean towards this first 5 under. Whether or not I get involved with it, it's another story. But my initial lean here is first 5 under in this game.
I will say both of these pitchers have actually looked solid this year.
Which
we expected from Casey Mize. I did not expect it from Clark Schmidt. It's more of I could definitely see an under. The only reason why I'm not going to go towards an under in this game is because we just saw a 2-1 game yesterday, and that kind of performance makes me want to look the opposite direction sometimes. So just because they went under, just because the pitchers are solid, this one could feel like a little bit of a sneaky overplay. So I'm going to stay off this game, although I don't hate your play to look towards the under.
Yeah. I think I'm going to move on this first 5 under. I just got to figure out which book I'm going to move on with it. I'm seeing minus 115 on ESPN Bet. I think I'm going to move on it there.
Okay. I guess Cleveland wins Game 7 since every home. I could see that.
Would we be surprised if it snaps then?
No. But I still like Cleveland to win the series. Warriors and Bucks has to be the craziest teams to like. Well, he likes Giannis and he likes Curry. So, Marcos, you must know a lot about Game 7s with Cleveland. Ooh, no, Tim. You didn't bring up my eliminated teams to throw salt on wound. Bring up the Bucks and Road Warriors. I'm already sad and hurt and just about done with the playoffs. I really don't like it now. I really don't like you now, Tim. Aw, thank you, Marcos. Appreciate it. First 500. I could see the first 500.
I'm going to move on the first 500. Yeah, I'm getting first 500 for minus 115. I'm going to move on that here.
Okay, good luck. This one should be an interesting matchup, Nick.
Yeah, we have the Minnesota Twins and the Boston Red Sox here. The Red Hot Twins, winners of now 11 in a row. And this is where I generally want to look to try to bet against teams like that while on these crazy win streaks. But let's get into it here. We have Brandon Bernardino taking on Pablo Lopez. Line opened up at a 167. It's up to a 168. We've had a slight move towards the Twins. Line opened up in an 8. It's down to a 7.5. So a move towards the under here as well. Another move towards the under with 95% tickets, 93% cash on the over. And this line's gone from an 8 to a 7.5. Definitely piques my interest in the under in this game here. We have 17% of the tickets and 58% of the cashes on these Boston Red Sox as well. We have Bernardino, which I believe this is going to be a bullpen day for the Red Sox. Let's take a look here. This is, Bernardino is going to give you a max of 2 innings, probably 1 inning there. So he's going to be your opener. And then on the flip side, Pablo Lopez has been pretty meh this year, but I expect much better from him. A 5.84 ERA, 1.18 whip, 10.95 strikeouts per 9, which is 29%, 2.55 walks per 9, a 283 BABIP, a 4.21 FIP, and a 309 Sierra. Bullpen advantage does go towards Minnehaha here, and then the slight hit, and then a hitting advantage towards the Twins as well. They mash lefties, but we're only going to see an inning or 2 of Bernardino before we get into the bullpen, and I would be surprised if they continue to throw more lefties against this Minnesota Twins team, which is 129 WRC plus, which is 3rd against lefties. And this Red Sox team has been really strong against righties. But with that being said, I look for Pablo Lopez to have a decent game here. Pablo Lopez has not looked good as of late, but I look for positive regression here from Mr. Lopez. So for me, this is another look potentially towards a first 500. And I could see that in this game as well. Winds are blowing out a little bit. They're blowing towards the right field foul pole around 11 to 14 miles an hour. It would be a lean towards a first 500 for me. Maybe a small lean towards Boston first 5. But I'm not going to bet anything. Boston burned me yesterday. I don't think I'm going to go back to them today, which means probably they win.
Here's the deal. I'm not going to go and I'm not going to bet this game, but I would look towards Boston again. Because eventually, the thing is, I don't want to keep trying to catch a falling knife. That's my problem. And by betting against Minnesota, that's all I feel like I'm doing is trying to catch a falling knife. So I'm going to now. If I was on the Twins for the beginning of their run, I could be betting the Twins today. But because I have not bet them this entire streak, I'm not starting today. And I can't. I'm not going to bet Boston. Maybe it could be a look towards an under. Just because I although the Twins bats have been hot, So that's the main reason why I'm kind of staying off of that. I promise I will have plays. I will have a play starting in the next game. So I have nothing for the first 2 games on the card, though.
Fair.
I know a little about Game 7s, but the Twins, the Twins, the experts. No, I don't really know Game 7s. Indiana wins in 7 against New York. I like Indiana. I think it's 6 games. Cleveland beats Dallas. Oh, sorry, Oklahoma City beats Dallas in 6. I can see that. Twins run line, fine. These games kind of asked for me, but I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave here with something. Yes. Nick, who wins the Denver Minnesota series and the Indy New York series and Oklahoma City Dallas? Who you got? I want to hear your thoughts. I already know Tim picked them 4 series. Well, it's only because I had all of those. Well, no, I had Oklahoma City versus LA, but I had all those pretty much in my my preview video.
The only one I've bet is Denver to win Game 1 in the series against the Timberwolves. That's the only thing I bet, and that was minus 120. I would lean towards. I see. I need. What are the lines for these series? I would lean towards that. Probably OKC beats Dallas, but I could see Dallas as a live dog in that game. And I really don't know anything about this Knicks Indy series. I think it goes probably 7, and we go from there. I don't know.
I like the Pacers. I think Pacers are like $2. Dogs. Mavericks win series versus Oakland even money. I still like Oklahoma City. I have a ticket. I have my 80 to 1. I have my 80 to 1 ticket on Oklahoma City to win the NBA Finals. So, Marcos and Tim get along very well. Yes, we do. O's today with John Means on the mound. They crushed lefties, but maybe the run line today.
Maybe over in that game. We'll look at it.
It's the Baltimore Orioles. You already know I'm on it. Let's head to the next game, Nick, which I have a play in this one.
Yeah, I stayed off this game yesterday. I was kind of mad that I did because there was a couple spots where I left off unders on my card and it would have cashed that game. The first 500 would have cashed here, and the first 500 would have cashed in that Washington, the Kikuchi-Corbin's game. So that was kind of frustrating there. But we had the St. Louis Cardinals and the Chicago White Sox. We have the Cardinals minus 170 favorites with a total of 8 in this game, not 7, 8. We have good old Lance Lynn taking on Eric Fetty in this one here. Line opened up at an 8, minus 125. It's up to an 8 and minus 131. So we do have a 6-cent line movement towards the over here. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing 8.5s. This line opened up at a 185, and now it's down to a 172. So we do have a move towards the Chicago White Sox as well. So move towards the over, move towards the White Sox, suggesting that Lance Lynn gets hit. 70% of the tickets and 68% of the cash is on the under in this game with the line moving towards the over. We rarely see this, which tells me that we see runs in this game. That's what the markets are telling me here is we see runs here. And we have 92% of the tickets and 92% of the cash on the Cardinals and the line moving towards the White Sox, which tells me Lance Lynn gets hit. Lance Lynn's going to get lit up in this game against the White Sox of all teams. We have Eric Fetty, who's been not bad this year. 2.6 ERA, 1.07 whip, 10.13 strikeouts per nine, which is 27%. 2.34 walks per nine, a 2.53 BABIP, a 4.02 FIP, and a 3.22 SIERA. On the flip side, Lance Lynn, 3.04 ERA, 1.43 whip, 8.1 strikeouts per nine, which is 20%, 4.05 walks per nine, a 2.73 BABIP, a 5.26 FIP, and a 4.51 SIERA. Bullpen advantage does go towards the Redbirds here, as so does the hitting advantage. 92 WRC plus, which is 21st, versus and the White Sox 75 WRC plus, which is 28th. White Sox have actually been a little bit of an over team as of late. 7 of the last 10 games for them have gone over the total. The Cardinals have been a little more of an under team. This market move, and we do have wind blowing out only between 7 and 8 miles an hour, but the wind is blowing out in this game. I'm interested in the over in this game, and I think I'm going to move on the over 8.5 in this one. If I can find an 8 at a better number, maybe I pull the trigger on that. But this is a game where the markets are screaming over the total in this one here. And I can get 8.5 at minus 105 on BetMGM. So, all right, nope. I'm actually going to get a bet 365 for this because I can get over 8 minus 125. So over 8 minus 125 on bet 365 for me.
I gave out the under yesterday.
Really?
I really like both these pitchers right now. Both of them have actually pitched well, and as crazy as that sounds, because I don't like Lance Lynn. Lance Lynn, 9 earned runs in 30 2/3 innings pitched. He has been solid. And if there's been a bright spot to this White Sox rotation, it's Mr. Fetty, who's only allowed 10 earned runs in 34 2/3 innings pitched. So these are two pitchers that have been really, really solid so far this year. A White Sox offense that is putrid, which is dead last in baseball, against a St. Louis team that is not particularly good. I still believe they'll be last place, even though I believe they are now ahead of Pittsburgh. But this is even a St. Louis team that's 27th in runs scored, with 3.5 per game. So both teams have been offensively horrible this year. So I like the under in this game. I gave it out yesterday during rapid fire on picks and parlays. I like the under in this game, Nick.
Fair. And this just looks like one of those games where you look at what the offenses have done, and this game is so obviously under that it goes over type of game. But yeah, I understand your thought process behind it under in this game.
Joel, I bet the Oklahoma City Thunder 80-1 preseason. I said I really like that team. I really like the pieces, and now they look solid. No, I was not high. I take shots. I'm not going to go and try to bet all the favorites. I also had the Miami Heat.
Apparently, he was drunk. He was taking shots.
Yeah. Huh?
You said you're not high. You were just taking shots. I mean, you're drunk then.
Thunder was 80-1. Yeah, preseason Thunder was 80-1. Jealous of that ticket. I mean, it's still not far. It's still far from cashing, but Cardinals minus 1.5. No run first inning. I could see a Nerfy. White Sox money line, book it. No.
I'm kind of interested in the White Sox team total. Yeah.
We get along. That's my guy, even though we against each other's team, except for we both like MSU. Go green, go white. All day, all night. Let's beat Michigan outright. Anyways, Lance Lynn over strikeouts. Sure. Under. I could see the under. White Sox first 5 feels greasy.
Nice and greasy, right? I'll get extra greasy. You can take the 28th ranked offense against right-handed pitching, team total over.
Sox go up and blow their lead. Like usual, best live bet is betting against the Sox when they're winning. Not a bad option. White Sox first 5. If you're going to bet them, I guess that's the only way to do it. This was a fun game yesterday.
Yeah, I doubled up on the game and I won both. So let's get into it here. We have the Milwaukee Brewers and the Chicago Cubbies. Line opened up minus 125. We're seeing a 126 now for the Cubs. Line opened up at an 8. It's up to an 8.5. I mentioned what we see, and now after yesterday, it's 6-2 the under, with totals 8 and lower, and it's still 4-2 the over, with totals 8.5 or higher. We're seeing an 8.5. So right off the rip, this is over or nothing for me. 60% of tickets, 58% of the cash on the under, and the line moving towards the over. This is the exact same market, or very similar market we're seeing with this game and the last game we just talked about, the Cubs and with the Cardinals and the White Sox. Is the bigger, more tickets, more money coming in on the under with the line moving up. So that tells me we're going to see runs in this game here, and I'm assuming with this total moving to an 8.5 that the wind is blowing out. And we see some along those lines. We have Tobias Myers, your starting pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers against Jameson Taillon. I want to take a look. I don't think Taillon's pitched a couple times. Taillon pitched great.
Myers has pitched twice.
Yeah, and he got lit up in his last start against the Yankees. In those
4
two
runs,
starts,
but-
yeah, in those I'm seeing 15-5. A lot of those were late. Never mind. He was part of that 15-5 loss in the series finale against the Yankees.
Ugly.
In those two starts, he has a 4.5 ERA, a 1 WHIP, 8.1 strikeouts per nine, which is 23%. 0.9 walks per nine, a 231 BABIP, a 5.56 FIP, and a 3.44 SIERA. On the flip side, Jameson Taillon, 1.50 ERA, 0.94 WHIP, 4.5 strikeouts per nine, which is 13%, 1.5 walks per nine, a 211 BABIP, a 4.1 FIP, and a 4.76 SIERA. Bullpen advantage goes towards the Brew Crew here, and the hitting advantage does go towards Milwaukee as well. 125 WRC plus, which is number 2 against righties, compared to the Cubbies, who are 89 WRC plus, which is 22nd against righties. I rather back the Cubs against left-handed pitching, and I think the Cubs against righties are borderline an auto bet. Not as much against lefties or against righties. My bad. And one thing I'm actually looking at in this game here, and I want to see real quick, I'm assuming with the total 8.5, well, actually, this wind's going to be blowing from side to side and actually blowing more in as the game goes along. It's an 8.5, which is interesting there. I'm interested in this over in this spot at the 8.5 because I mentioned this yesterday. The markets will tell you with these Cub games, and I want to track this more throughout the year. Totals of 8 or lower in Wrigley Field with the wind blowing in. Totals 8.5 and higher with the wind blowing out. I think there will be they play 81 home games. I think our method, betting unders on 8 and lower and betting overs on 8.5 and higher, will hit in at least 55 to 60 games. If you're looking to bet overs in Cubs games at 8.5 or higher and things along those lines. Now, we may have to adjust those numbers a little bit coming summertime when the weather's hotter and and we see things along those lines and we see more offense come summertime. I'm going to take this over 8.5. It's minus 110 over on Fanatics.
I'm on the same boat with you. This is a Cubs team that I expect to start to see hitting more. They just had a couple of, I guess, they had 5 straight low-scoring games. Or sorry, there was one over in there, the 7-6 game against the Mets, the final game. But this has been a Cubs team that's been really good pitching-wise. But coming home, I feel like today would be the day that there's going to be like a run outburst in Wrigley. And I could definitely see Milwaukee's been slamming the ball. They've been pretty solid of late. They've also won 3 straight. They've also had a couple of just rough games in terms of pitching wise. So this Brewers team has been a pretty nice over team as of late. I'm going to keep following with that one. I could easily see this game being 4-4 at one point. So I like the over. We're getting over 8.5 at minus 109.
Yeah, the Brewers offense is kind of underrated.
It kind of is this year. Obviously, it's still very early, so we'll see. But morning, gentlemen. Good morning, Untouchable. Split out on hockey last night. VGK and under yes, Nashville and under no. Gotcha. Canucks always annoy me in the playoffs. They knock out whoever I like in the series. Canucks. Live bet and cash Brewers in the under 4.5 at plus 425. Holy crap. Nice, dude. Happy Corbin Day was never in doubt.
Love it.
That's right. I may ride the over with you guys. Let's get it. Under 5.5. I was about to say that's a very, very tight rope there. All the wild cards in the NHL playoffs got eliminated. Not yet. Vegas is still in.
Yeah.
This is probably, you know what? This game is interesting.
And it's interesting because I said that we could see a couple wild card upsets in the first round. Of course, it's going to be all chalk with Carolina, New York, Dallas, and Vancouver all winning. So, but we'll move on here. So now all of a sudden I have 2 overs on my card. I had the over 4.5, over 8.5 here with the Cubs game. Pittsburgh Pirates and Colorado Rockies, minus 195 for the Pirates, total 7 in this game. Let's take a look at the line history in this spot here, where we see the Pirates opened up. Where is this game? There we go. Line opened up at a 185. It's up to a 195 now. So we do have a move towards Pittsburgh in this game. Line opened up in an 8. It's down to a 7.5. And now we're seeing 7s. So a full run line movement down in this game here between Austin Gomber and Jared Jones. 90% of the tickets and 90% of the cash is on the Pirates. The line moving towards them. And then we have 38% of the tickets and 53% of the cash is on the under. And the line moving towards it. And we have Jared Jones, which I like, and then Austin Gomber, which has potential. Gomber, 3.95 ERA, 1.24 whip, 6.26 strikeouts per 9, which is 17%, 2.63 walks per 9, a 256 BABIP, a 502 FIP, and a 4.57 SIERA. I don't love his numbers there, but he's not going up against a powerhouse offense in Pittsburgh. Jared Jones has been phenomenal this year, I think, so far. 2.86 ERA, 0.92 whip, 10.16 strikeouts per 9, which is 29%. I think the most impressive thing about Jared Jones here, though, other than his strikeouts, his walk rate. 0.95 walks per 9. There's only a couple pitchers who have a lower walk rate than him, and those are pitchers that have barely pitched. Framer Valdez, who I think has 1 start under his belt since coming back, and Tobias Myers, who's pitched twice, have lower walk rates, and those are 0.9 and 0. So he fills up the strike zone. He doesn't walk batters. He strikes out batters, and he tries to just overpower batters with his fastball. That's it. That's all he does. 242 BABIP, a 4.53 FIP, and a 2.68 SIERA. Bullpen advantage going towards these Buccos, and hitting advantage going towards the Buccos as well. 83 WRC plus, which is 23rd against lefties compared to 78, which is 25th against righties for these Colorado Rockies. I would love the under in this game. If it hasn't moved a full run down, and now I'm seeing 6.5s pop up. Like, I have no interest in a 6.5 in this game. That's just and the first 5 totals at 3.5. And I've seen plenty of these 3.5s go over the total. I'm done betting first 5 under 3.5s because I've seen too many of them go under. So this will be a stay off for me. I have no interest in laying almost $2 with the Pittsburgh Pirates or a run line at only plus 110 with Pittsburgh. Hell no to that. And this totals, if this was still a 7.5 and I could have gotten a 4 on this first 5 under, I would go ahead and take the first 5 under in this game. But with it being a 3.5, it's enough to keep me off this game. I have no interest in betting this one. Maybe if you want anything in this game, I would take half a run in the first 5 innings around plus 118 on FanDuel with these Colorado Rockies, because I can see this being tied at the end of 5 and this being a very low variance game and it being 0-0-1-1.
I don't know. I kind of lean over. I feel like I know you just mentioned a bunch of stuff, but I know I like Jared Jones. He's been great. But 7? 6.5 even? You're just saying that this game's not going to be 3-3 at one point? I don't know. I feel like
these are 2 of the worst offenses in baseball. Rockies away from home are terrible.
Still, I just think that this total is a little bit too low. I could think they can accidentally get over. Like this, I remember, Nick, we used to talk about 7, 6.5s when it was like Jacob deGrom versus Max Scherzer. Not Austin Gomber versus Jarrett Jones. One or both of them are going to get hit today. I would actually kind of lean towards Colorado on the road at a big plus price tag, because Jared Jones has been great, yes, but you're only going to get he's actually been going 6 innings. So he's been doing it with a low pitch count as well. But I kind of lean Colorado. I kind of lean towards the over. I think Jared Jones gets hit today. And I know that sounds crazy, but I could definitely see Colorado putting up some runs today. I kind of want to bet the over.
One play that I'm kind of curious about. I don't bet these, so I'm not going to bet it. What is the Pirates to score first?
I have not a clue. I don't bet those either.
I want to see. I just want to see it real quick. I just want. I'll let you go over this. I want to see if we have
Bruins in 7. I wish I hedged more on the script when the Leafs were down 3-1. But anyways, did Bruins under and then also draw. I like Toronto. I thought about the Nerfy because of Jay Jones, but then I saw Gomer for the Rockies. Fair. Rockies are nothing. Maybe the DK promo is worth sprinkling. Maybe. MGM gave me a $25 free bet on soccer. I've never bet soccer. Anyone have a good soccer look for today? Unfortunately, all the games that I bet are going on right now. Let's go take a look to see if I want to do anything with that 12:30 game in the EPL. Because when I checked last night, there wasn't like a big discrepancy. Because all I do for soccer, I know nothing about the teams. All I do is look at the money and where all the money is going. Yes, Nottingham's up. All right, cool. I'm okay. My plays are looking halfway decent. Oh, Manchester City and Wolverhampton. That's there's actually a lot. I might go Man City. Cameron, let's go Man City. I'm going to add that to the card. We're going to grab them minus the 2.75. I'm going to take them. Yeah, I'm going to take them minus the 2.75 at plus 107. There you go. Man City in blowout versus Wolverhampton.
By the way, I just saw an interesting prop that could be a way to get juice down on some big baseball money lines. On FanDuel for minus 135. Now, granted, keep in mind the Pirates are minus 200 in this game. For minus 135, you can get the Pirates money line and both teams to score. So a 4-1 win, something like that. All we need is one run from the Rockies. So that I think that's an interesting way to look at potentially these games. If you like a favorite, but you think it could be a little bit more of an over, on FanDuel they have both teams to score and money line parlays type of thing.
Right on. I'm looking at the Mariners and the Braves also for that DK promo plus money, Orioles and Athletics for safer plays. Well, you already know how I feel about the Orioles. Wolves over 1.5 goals. No, I do not like that. Let's keep on rolling to a game that I'm going to pass on.
Yeah, this is a game I wish I didn't pass on yesterday. But we have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, decent. All right. Toronto Blue Jays and Washington Nationals, your next matchup here. Blue Jays minus 165 favorites. Total of 8 in this game. Taking a look at the pitching matchup here, Kevin Gausman and Jake Irving, your pitching matchup. Line opened up at a 164 for the Maple Leafs. Blue Jays. And now it's down to a 159. Line opened up at an 8.5, down to an 8. So we have a move towards the under. We have a move towards the Nationals in this game here. We have, wow. Okay, this probably is an underplay for me. 90% of the tickets and 89% of the cash on the over and the line dropping. 72% of the tickets, 60% of the cash is on the Blue Jays and the line dropping. So maybe a Blue Jays team total under could be an interesting game play in this game. The markets are screaming that Jake Irving pitches well in this game. Gausman has not been the greatest this year. 4.5 ERA, 1.36 WHIP, 7.39 strikeouts per nine, which is 19%, 1.93 walks per nine, a 3.15 BABIP, a 4.15 FIP, and a 4.03 Sierra. On the flip side, Jake Irving, 4.28 ERA, 1.19 WHIP, 6.95 strikeouts per nine, which is 19%, 1.87 walks per nine, a 3.03 BABIP, a 3.4 FIP, and a 4 Sierra. Bullpen advantage goes towards these Washington Nationals in this game. Hitting advantage does go towards the Blue Jays, 104 WRC plus, which is 12th, compared to 87, which is 25th. I'm interested in this first 5 under. And the Blue Jays bullpen, I think, is ultimately what would keep me off of a full game under. Maybe I need to start implementing full game unders in my capping. I don't like full game unders. You guys all know that. This is why since the last 2 seasons, 100% of my unders have been first 5 unders. And I can get a 4.5 minus 120 on Bet365. I'm going to do that. First 5 under 4.5 at minus 120.
It's a Blue Jays game, so you know what I do. I pass.
Sure.
And we move on.
Yep.
I don't get them right. So, Nats and Nerfy for me.
I don't mind the.
I don't hate. I like the Nationals. So, but let's jump into the next one, and I'll go ahead and put it up on the site now.
Yeah. I'm just putting in this first 5 under 4.5 minus 120 over on bet 365. There we go. All right, let's move on here where we have the Oakland Athletics and the Miami Marlins in this game here. We have the Athletics minus 125 favorites with a total of 7 in this game. Let's take a look at the line history in this one here, where we have Trevor Rogers and Paul Blackburn. This line opened up at a minus 140. It got all the way down to a minus 120, and now it's all the way up to a 134. Line opened up at an 8 all the way down to a 7, so full run line movement down towards the under is interesting here as well. We have 77% of the tickets, 70% of the cash is on the Athletics. We have 44% of the tickets, 55% of the cash on the under, which explains the move towards the under here. Blackburn's been decent this year, 3.34 ERA, 1.09 whip, 7.2 strikeouts per nine, which is 20%. 2.31 walks per nine, a 253 BABIP, a 3.81 FIP, and a 3.86 SIERA. On the flip side, Trevor Rogers, 4.31 ERA, 1.50 whip, 7.76 strikeouts per nine, which is 19%. 3.45 walks per nine, a 330 BABIP, a 3.41 FIP, and a 4.13 SIERA. Bullpen advantage does go towards these Oakland Athletics. Hitting advantage goes towards the Oakland Athletics as well, 95 WRC plus, which is 20th against lefties, compared to the Marlins against righties, who are 64 WRC plus, which is 29th in baseball. They are the second worst team against right-handed pitching in baseball. And for me, this is pretty simple. Also, it's Paul Blackburn day, so this will be not only Oakland money line, it'll be Oakland first 5 as well, because Paul Blackburn equals Oakland first 5. So this will be a double up for me. I'll look to find the best available lines for this. It's going to be Oakland first 5 and Oakland full game. I'm seeing minus 125 on ESPN Bet, and I'm seeing minus 135 also on ESPN Bet. So I'm going to be betting both those over on ESPN.
Well, I do my backing the Orioles every game. Well, we also have the fade in the Marlins every game, which have been about even, Nick, which is crazy to say. And both of them have been really, really good. 23-11 fading the Marlins this year. And we are up 14.48 units doing so. Let's keep going. Oakland minus the 126 money line in this one. No need to fix what's not broke. Let's keep on running with the Oakland Athletics and fading the Marlins A's money line. Let's do it.
I like it. Yeah, I'm doing first 5 full game.
Right on. Paul Blackburn day. Yep. Man, those Athletics paid us nice yesterday. First 5 run line, full game run line. Hell yeah. Marlins, Nerfy, and whoever they play money line. Let's ride the wave again. Plus 210, plus 170 today. I like it. Nick, best possible result last night for the Avs. Hammer them game 1.
Oh, I have full intentions on having a big bet on them and the Panthers to win their series.
Let's head to this next one, Nick.
Yeah, we have the Philadelphia Phillies and the San Francisco Giants. We have the Phillies minus 180 favorites with a total of 7 in this game. Taking a look at the line history in this one here, where we have opened up with the Phillies as minus 170 favorites. We're seeing 166 now. Line opened up at 7.5. It's down to a 7. So we do have a move towards the under. We've had a move towards the Giants here in this one, expecting Keaton Wynn to pitch well against Ranger Suarez. We have 88% of the tickets and 90% of the cash is on the Phillies, and the line moving towards the Giants, which is interesting. And we have 50% of the tickets and 59% of the cash coming in on the under. The line moving towards set under. 2 pitchers that I've actually been pretty impressed with this year. Keaton Wynn, 3.18 ERA, 0.97 whip, 7.41 strikeouts per nine, which is 22%. 2.65 walks per nine, a 230 BABIP, a 3.72 FIP, and a 3.54 SIERA. On the flip side, Ranger Suarez, dog. 1.32 ERA, 0.63 whip. He's been insane this year. 8.78 strikeouts per nine, which is 28%. 1.1 walks per nine, a 189 BABIP, a 2.6 FIP, and a 2.40 SIERA. Bullpen advantage goes towards the fight and fills here, as well as the hitting advantage as well. 114 WRC plus, which is 5th, compared to 79, which is 24th. I do lean under in this game. I really like Ranger Suarez, and looking at this Phillies rotation, where you can have Ranger Suarez as a game 3 starter behind Nola and Wheeler, makes this team look so dangerous, and which is why this team is so dangerous in the playoffs. This total at 3.5 scare me with first 5 unders. And I don't see any 4s available other than Fanatics is going to be 4.5 at -170. I don't lay that type of juice. It's going to be a stay off spot for me. I wanted an under in this game, but not at a 3.5. I wanted a 4.
What are your thoughts on the Phillies?
I would lean Giants.
Really? I really like Ranger Suarez. He's been a nice moneymaker for us this year. I'm gonna go jump on the Philly run line here, and this is just a Philly team that, and I know I don't think this really matters to you, but it kind of shows me how each team plays with a certain pitcher. Ranger Suarez and the Phillies are 6-0 in his starts, 5-1 on the run line. The only time they didn't cover a run line, well, I guess they did because it would have been a reverse run line or a +1.5 run line against Atlanta. So this is a Phillies team that really gets behind Ranger Suarez and makes me want to back him here. I like the Phillies here. I have to take them on the run line. Their run line's like +140 something. So let me jump on the Phillies.
There you go. Good luck.
Philly Giants under 8.5 live last night was never in doubt again for me. Nerfy was never in doubt. There you go. This one was an interesting game last night, Nick.
Yeah, the Angels and the Guardians. The Guardians -135 favorites, total of 8 in this game. The Angels, I saw a lot of love for Cleveland yesterday. I leaned Angels first 5, and of course left that one off my card. But it is what it is. Let's take a look at the pitching match, or not the pitching matchup, but the line history in this one, where it opened up at a 155, immediately went down to 140, and now we're seeing it move down to a 132. So we've had a move towards these LA Angels. Line opened up at a 7.5 -120. It's now an 8 at -120. So we have a move towards the over, and we have a move towards the Angels in this game here. 56% of tickets, 55% of cash on the over explains the line move towards the over. 76% of tickets and 89% of cash on the Guardians does not explain the line move towards the Angels, though. And this one, Reed Detmers and Ben Lively. Lively's been pretty good. Detmers has been decent as well. 3.12 ERA, 1.15 WHIP for Detmers the last 30 days. 9.61 strikeouts per 9, which is 27%. 2.6 walks per 9, a 3.15 BABIP, but 2.73 FIP, and a 3.39 CR. On the flip side, Ben Lively, 2.3 ERA, 0.96 WHIP, 10.91 strikeouts per 9, 32% strikeout rate. 1.72 walks per 9, a 278 BABIP, a 297 FIP, and a 2.90 CR. Bullpen advantage does go towards these Cleveland Guardians. Hitting advantage slightly goes towards the Guardians as well. 108 WRC plus, which is 10th, compared to 104, which is 11th for the Angels. And the Guardians, obviously, against lefties there. I mean, I would lean towards an over in this game if I had to bet anything. That's the most appealing play for me. I'm not going to. It'd be just a lean at the moment, but it's over or nothing for me, and it's Angels or nothing for me.
All right, cool. We'll have another play. I like the Angels and Reed Detmers. Although Detmers has gotten hit a little bit as of late, the last 2 games that he's pitched, though, was against Baltimore, who has one of the best offenses in baseball, and Minnesota.
And they mashed lefties.
Yeah. I really like LA in this one. I know they're coming off of a shutout win, which was very impressive last night. But I'm going to take a little bit of plus money here. It's plus 121. I want to back our boy Reed Detmers, who is putting together a solid year. He's allowed 12 earned runs in 34 and 2/3 innings pitch. So somebody I want to be backing. Give me the Angels here. Versus Cleveland. I do expect Cleveland to slow down.
Fair. Back to the chat. There we go.
Let's see. Athletics, first 5 run line and full game. At DK, Blackburn better get. Yeah, no, dude, Blackburn's been awesome.
Yeah.
Although I think he had a crappy game last game, but it is what it is. Now, we already know where I'm at for this one.
Yeah, where we have the Baltimore Orioles and the Cincinnati Reds. The Orioles minus 115 road favorites, total of 9 in this game. Let's get into the line history in this spot here, where we have this one opened up. Let me find this. Here we go. There we go. At minus 112 for the Orioles. Now we're seeing minus 110 for the Reds. So we have a dog to favorite situation here for the Cincinnati Reds in this game. This line's completely flipped within the last hour, which is interesting there. I want to see how that plays, how the market plays this. And it's 76% of the tickets and 85% of the cash on the Orioles, with the line flipping here, which tells me the Reds are the play. Right off the rip, 70% of the tickets, 65% of the cash is on the under as well. This line's moved from a 9 to a 9.5 to a 9. So really no line movement there on the total, other than it's come back down. This is not Orioles. This is Reds or nothing. And let's take a look at the pitching matchup here, where we have John Means and Andrew Abbott. John Means, so far this year, his first start back.
Yep.
I don't know what to expect from him. On the flip side, Andrew Abbott's not looked particularly great. 3.27 ERA, 1.12 WHIP, 7.36 strikeouts per 9, which is 20%. 3 walks per 9, a 2.33 BABIP, but 2.58 FIP, and a 4.52 Sierra. Bullpen advantage going towards Baltimore. Hitting advantage going towards Baltimore as well. 154 WRC plus, which is number 1 in baseball against lefties. They smash lefties, which I think is going to end up keeping me off this game. 83% of the ticket, or 83 WRC plus for the Reds against lefties as well. 22nd in baseball. John Means is a lefty. Yep. So against lefties, 83 WRC plus, 22nd. I remember typing it incorrectly. I just drew a blank on whether or not Means was a lefty or not. I would like to watch this game strictly to see how John Means looks after not pitching for a very long time. It's Reds or nothing for me if I'm betting this game. I'm not touching the Orioles. Or that is not an option for me betting wise. It is Cincy or nothing. And maybe it's just a Cincy first 5 play. And maybe I go ahead and I fade John Means right off the rip here and expecting him to get hit a little bit in this game. I want to see what the best available line for this one is. For the Reds first 5, I'm seeing minus 118 on Botano. So that's not available to me. I see one. Oh, never mind. Okay. I'm seeing 130 is the best available line over, 120 over on Bet365 for first 5 money line with the Reds over. Yeah. So I leave the first 5 money line Reds, but no play.
Oh, you already know where I'm at. It's another Orioles day. I've been backing them. This is day number 33 of betting the Baltimore Orioles every single day to see how profitable I could be. Their money line today, I got when I found it, when I typed it up, even money, plus 155 on the run line. So far this year, money line 21-11, up 4.2 units. Run line 19-13, up 14 units. So betting 1 unit on each throughout the entire season, you're up 18.2 units. That's $1,800 if you're betting $100 per unit. So hey, making some money with the Baltimore Orioles so far this year, and I'm going to keep riding them no matter what the scenario is. Orioles continuing the trend.
Good luck.
What do we think about first 5 under in Cleveland? Chicago, St. Louis, and Boston, Minnesota. Sure.
I'm on the
I like the under in St. Louis and the Minnesota game fine. Yeah, and here's my tracking of the Orioles stuff. The Orioles have the means to win. Anyone take Vegas night futures? Yes, me. I have Vegas Golden Night futures. I do. Me.
The only Vegas future I have right now is I bet them before yesterday's game at plus 340 to win the series.
Let's find exactly No, it's not TikTok. It's on Twitter. Because I want to find Vegas. Nope, not those futures. I gotta freaking find. It might just have to be under Knights. Because I'm trying to figure out exactly what I got it at. That's a game. That's a game. Future game. I'll find it. Nick, if you want. Up too early wins. Orioles used it on Mets yesterday and cashed despite the Mets getting absolutely crushed. Yes. Oh, I found it. So I posted out this. Future time to repeat. Nuggets NBA Finals and Golden Knights to win the Stanley Cup parlay at 750. Also have the Nuggets individually at 450 and the Golden Knights at 12-1. And that was on February 12th. So there you go. There's my futures for the Vegas Golden Knights.
There you go. Good luck. We'll move on.
Keep going here. And, hey, I like this Kansas City Royals team. That I'll say.
Yeah, that was. I was on the wrong side of that game yesterday, but I just followed my capping. Yeah, we have the Kansas City Royals and the Texas Rangers in this one here. Line opened up at a 105 on both sides. Now we're seeing minus 106 for the Royals. So we've seen a massive 1 cent line movement towards the Royals. Line opened up at a 9. It's down to an 8.5. So a move towards the under and a move towards the Royals in this one here. 59% tickets, 54% of cash on the over. The line moving down towards the under, went from a 9 to an 8.5. Even though bigger bets, bigger money, more bets, more money is on the over. Line moving towards the under, telling me that they're not worried about this over money. And then we have 51% of tickets, 57% of cash on the Royals, which explains the small line movement towards them, about split money, and line moving about what it should do there. Dane Dunning and Michael Waka for this one here. We have Dane Dunning, 4.13 ERA, 1.16 whip, 10.74 strikeouts per 9, which is 29%, 4.41 walks per 9, a 2.14 BABIP, a 5.3 FIP, and a 3.73 SIERA. He's somebody where I think the Rangers would fare better if he was in their bullpen, which I think when they're fully healthy and they get DeGrom and Scherzer back, if they ever do, he will be in the bullpen. Michael Waka, 4.24 ERA, 1.32 whip, 7.41 strikeouts per 9, which is 20%, 2.38 walks per 9, a 3.20 BABIP, a 4.01 FIP, and a 4.10 SIERA. Bullpen advantage going towards the Rangers. Hitting advantage going towards the Royals. 104 WRC plus, which is 13th, compared to 102, which is 14th. So ever so slightly towards the Royals. I think this game should be a toss-up pick'em type of game. I just do. And looking at the total in this one for me, it's under or nothing. And I generally look for more unders in baseball than I do overs, I've noticed. And for me, this would be the first 5 under or nothing in this game.
I was kind of leaning the opposite way. I don't trust either of these pitchers. That's the big thing for me. Dane Dunning has not been particularly good this year. He's allowed 15 earned runs in 32 and 2/3 innings. I guess that's not horrible, but he's got 16 walks, 39 strikeouts, which is actually halfway decent. But I could see him getting hit today against a Kansas City Royals offense that's been really good. On the opposite side, we got Michael Waka, who's averaging giving up 2.7 runs per game. And he's given up 16 earned runs in 34 innings, which is not terrible, no. But at the same time, I could see him getting hit as well. I really like this Kansas City offense. I would have to go towards Kansas City in this game at around even money as well. You guys know already I have futures on this Kansas City Royals team, not only over win total, but to win the division, which currently I believe they're sitting second place in the division, still behind Cleveland. They are half a game behind Cleveland for the division. I know it's very, very early. I realize that. I like to follow standings. So I'm going to be on. I kind of lean towards the over. I do like the Kansas City Royals in this game, who have won 3 in a row.
Fair.
Let's keep on rolling.
Yeah. as I'm typing and stuff. All right. Seattle Mariners and Houston Astros here. We got 4 games remaining on the card. Astros and Mariners. Let's take a look at the line history here between Logan Gilbert and Framber Valdez. Line opened up at 125, immediately went to 135, and now we're seeing 143. So we see the movement towards the Houston Astros. And line opened up at an 8, now it's down to a 7.5. So move towards the under and a move towards the Astros, expecting Framber Valdez to come to pitch well in this game. Taking a look at the cash flow, let's see if it agrees with that here, where we do have 51% of the tickets and 57% of cash is on the under, and the line has moved towards the under. 87% of the tickets and 78% of the cash on the Astros, with the line moving towards the Astros in this game here. The ultimate question is: do we think the Astros are going to get into form? They've played a little bit better as of late, and I think I truly do look forward to, in 6 days, because I had May 10th written down, betting the Astros in multiple ways. I think 4 different ways. I think I'm going to have 4 different bets on the Astros to make the playoffs, to win the division, to win the American League, and to win the World Series. I think I'm going to move on 4 things with the Astros. I think the Astros are going to be just fine this year. I think that people are going to be overreacting about their tough start. And once they get healthier, they will be better. Logan Gilbert, 2.180 ERA, 0.82 whip, 9.82 strikeouts per 9, which is 29%, 2.18 walks per 9, a 187 BABIP, a 3.67 FIP, and a 309 Sierra. On the flip side, Framber Valdez, I think he's only pitched in 1 or 2 games since coming back, 1.42 ERA, 0.87 whip, 7.82 strikeouts per 9, which is 24%. Hasn't walked a batter, a 333 BABIP, a 166 FIP, and a 208 Sierra. Very promising there. Bullpen edge does go towards the Mariners. That's one thing that that does scare me with the Astros is I don't know how much I can trust them full games at this moment with the way their bullpen is. But with the names they have in the back of their bullpen, with Presley and with Abreu and with Hader, that bullpen is too good to be this bad. Pretty plain and simple for me. And then hitting advantage goes towards the Astros, 102 WRC plus, which is 15th compared to 87 against lefties, which is 19th for the Mariners. The Mariners kind of struggle against lefties a little bit there. For me, it's Astros first 5 or nothing, and it's first 5 under or nothing for me. The only problem with I think that is that I would be probably having to lay half a run in the first 5 innings in order to back the Astros here, and I think this line's just gotten too far away from me here in order to want to back the Astros. I do not have an interest in the Mariners in this game. It's Astros or nothing, but this will be a pass for me.
Yeah, you already know I'm still liking Seattle. Nothing's changed. Seattle's still the team that I think is going to be the team to beat in the American League West this year. And they're currently sitting in first place. Now they're only a half game ahead, right? Did Texas win last night? No, Texas lost last night.
No, they did not. They lost last night.
By the way, Oakland Athletics 1 game away from being 500, and they're a game and a half back for the division. Anyways, I like Seattle. I still think they're the team to beat. They got off to a really slow start, but I really like Logan Gilbert. Obviously, I had futures on him a couple years ago. I think next year I might look towards Logan Gilbert futures again. This is a Seattle team that I think is going to be very dangerous down the stretch. So Mariners for me in this one.
The only thing that worries me with the Mariners is their bats. The only thing that worries me with the Mariners, because they have the best rotation in baseball. They have one of the best bullpens in baseball.
That's fair.
Back to the chat, and then we get a fun game.
Would you take Boston? Would you talk Boston first period under at -130?
Yep, no, that would be the max. I would lay the $1.30. No, he's saying first period under.
He's saying Boston.
Boston?
Okay, never mind.
Boston first period under.
I thought he was saying Boston and first. Never mind. Okay, we're good. I'm the same way. Looking for more unders than overs in baseball. Seattle with Gilbert, yes. Sweating the Nerfy. That's fair. This one should be interesting, Nick, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up his stats.
Yes, I would like you to pull up his stats in Syracuse this year. We have the New York Mets and the Tampa Bay Rays. We have the Rays opening up as around -120 favorites, -125 favorites. It's down to a 105. So we've had a pretty decent sized move towards the New York Mets. Line opened up around an 8.5, and it's down to a 7.5 now. So a full run line movement down towards the under, with 64% of tickets, 67% of cash on the over in this game. So the market's expecting Christian Scott to pitch well in his debut, especially with the money line here as well. And I kind of want to do this game. I want to approach this game kind of similar to the way I approached that Brewers game yesterday. We'll get into it. 26% of the tickets and 46% of cash is on the New York Metropolitans in this one here. And Christian Scott making his MLB debut. Zach Littell on the other side has actually pitched pretty well this year. 4 ERA, 1.44 whip. But his numbers suggest positive regression as well. 9.67 strikeouts per nine, which is 24%. 1 walk per nine at 393 BABIP, but a 2.79 FIP and a 3.25 Sierra, expecting better from him. Bullpen advantage is a massive one towards the New York Mets. And the hitting advantage is towards the Mets as well. 112 WRC plus, which is 6th, compared to 99, which is 17th. I would like to see what a first 5 under in this game to be, especially after the explosion of offense yesterday. It's a 4 at minus 110. And then the Mets on the money line in this game as well. Best available number, Bet365 has minus 105. I'm going to take the Mets full game money line in this one here. And the first 5 under 4. First, though, I would like you to read out what he has done in the AAA this year before I go ahead and bet it, because I know his stats are really good.
Well, we're looking at Mr. Christian Scott. He was drafted by the New York Mets in the 5th round of the 2021 draft out of the University of Florida. So far in Syracuse this year, he had a 3-0 record with a 3.2 ERA. He started 5 games, 25 innings pitched, 9 earned runs, 12 hits, 36 strikeouts. Overall, quite solid in AAA. Over a strikeout an inning, 36 to 25. So, and he 36 strikeouts to 6 walks. So a 6-to-1 ratio there. Definitely something you want to look at when looking at younger pitchers is their strikeout to walk ratio. Because if it could show whether or not they have control. And it looks like he does. I'm with you. I'm back in the Mets today, especially after, because we mentioned yesterday. Yesterday was not a good spot for the Mets coming off of that series against the Cubbies. And we saw it. The bullpen or Quintana got smacked around. I think this is a good bounce back spot for the Mets. Give me the Mets money line minus 102.
Yep. And I said this yesterday and I wish I actually acted on it. With full intentions on betting the Mets today. I said the Rays win yesterday and the Mets win today. And yeah, so I'm on the Mets money line. I got it at minus 105 over on Bet365. And I'm currently logging into my BetMGM, so I can go ahead and bet the first 5 under 4 at minus 110 as well.
There you go. What up, ladies? Mets team total over. Yeah, sure. Why not?
The futon
2 games
bets.
left, Nick. Huh?
Yeah. No, the name of the guy that just commented the futon bets is the one that said bet team total.
Yeah.
The futon. I've never seen that name in the chat before. I thought it was funny.
Who do you think will hit a home run, not just this game? Gunnar Henderson.
Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger.
Don't hate that one either.
Yeah, I just looked at one of the games I've been over in.
Willie Adames. Anyways, 2 games left, Nick.
The Arizona Diamondbacks and the San Diego Padres. The Diamondbacks minus 125 favorites, total of 9 in this game. I wish I pulled the trigger on the Padres yesterday. I really did. But it is what it is. Brandon Fad and Michael King, your pitching matchup here. Line open up at a 120. It's now 122. Line open up at a 9 at minus 115. It's now a 9 at plus 115. Plus 110, my bad. So a big move towards the under in this game. 61% of the tickets, 74% of cash coming in on the over, with the line moving towards the under. 40% of the tickets, 63% of cash coming in on the Padres here as well. We have Michael King and Brandon Fad, 4.68 ERA, 1.41 whip, 9.64 strikeouts per nine, which is 24%, 4.96 walks per nine, a 229 BABIP, a 6.25 FIP and a 4.35 Sierra. On the flip side, Brennan Fed, 4.63 ERA, 1.11 WHIP, 9.77 strikeouts per nine, which is 26%, 1.54 walks per nine, a 298 BABIP, a 3.53 FIP, and a 3.14 Sierra. Bullpen advantage towards the Padres here, and same with the hitting advantage, 117 WRC plus, which is fourth against righties, compared to 78, which is 27th. Michael King has really taken advantage of this starting role, and I kind of like the Padres in this game. As a dog in this spot as well. I think the wrong team is favored in this game. And I think I want to look towards the Padres in this game.
I'm not going to look towards anything in this game. I'm just not really super big on this one. Unfortunately, Arizona's not the same team as they were last year. Even though they added a couple of players, I thought they would actually be pretty good. Turns out, nope, they were not. San Diego, a game under 500. These are two teams that I really haven't been getting right all year, so I'm going to stay away from this one. Although I don't hate like an over or something.
I'm going to go with the Padres in this game at plus 110. I would like to fade the Diamondbacks in this spot.
Okay. Hey guys, it's been a while. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's go Bruins. No Bruins. Plus money. I'm beating you guys. D-backs blowout. So, D-backs did get blown out yesterday. But the thing is, they got beat 7-1 yesterday.
That's not blowout.
But that was right after getting beat 8-0. So
they're just a bad baseball team.
But it ends up.
I think we can view the Diamondbacks. Yeah, we can view the Diamondbacks not exactly the same as the Marlins, but similar to the Marlins. Everybody's going to remember what the Diamondbacks did last year, and they're going to be an overpriced commodity this year. Yes.
Fair. By the way, 10 a.m. soccer games, Nick. 2-0-1. Nottingham minus 7.75 winner. Newcastle moneyline winner. Brentford tied 0-0. Avoiding the Padres. No thanks. There you go. One game left, Nick.
Yep, last game on the card here. The Atlanta Braves are in LA to take on Los Dodgers here. The Dodgers minus 180 favorites. I gotta say, this got to be the biggest favorite we've seen against the Atlanta Braves so far this year, right? Line opened up at 150. It's now 184. Line opened up at a 9. It's down to an 8.5. So move towards the under and a move towards the Dodgers. A big one here. But we have 84% tickets, 69% cash is on the Dodgers. So we see the Braves as big dogs. It's not even the public. The public's not even looking at this big dog as with the Braves here because the public's so infatuated with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Where we have Tyler Glasnow and Bryce Edler. Edler, I believe, just came back, and I think he's barely pitched. Glasnow, 2.81 ERA, 0.97 WHIP. He's looked awesome this year. 12.66 ERA, 36%. Strikeout rate, 1.97 walks per nine, and 296 BABIP, but 2.22 FIP, and a 2.25 CR. He can very well easily be the National League Cy Young winner this year. Bullpen advantage goes towards the Atlanta Braves. Hitting advantage goes towards the Dodgers, 127 WRC plus, which is number 1, versus the Braves, who are even 100, which is 16th. For me, this is pretty simple, though. I'm betting against the Dodgers every game, and I believe I'm up a couple units, something along those lines, and I'm going to go right back to it today. The Braves should not be this big of dogs. The only reason why they are is because they're playing the Dodgers. And I can get plus 160 over on Fanatics. I'm going to take the Braves here, plus 160.
See, the big line is kind of telling me Dodgers. But it is Glasnow who's been solid. It's Edler, who has not really been up in the majors a lot this year. They even skipped over him to bring up other guys around him. So there's something wrong with him, which is why I'm going to end up staying off of this game as well. I could see an over. I could see Glasnow getting hit because keep in mind the Braves still have a very good offense, and I think that they'll be able to they can get to a lot of pitchers. So I do want to kind of look towards the over in this game as well to end the night. I don't really need to get involved in it. Should be a fun game for some people to watch. I hate these two teams personally, so pass on this game. I guess it's to lean towards the over.
Yep. I used the official line is going to be plus 160. I got plus 176 with the Braves because I used the 10% profit boost over on Fanatics.
Okay. Brad Keller's no Mitch Keller. That's correct. What's up, my guys? What's up, Fernando? The vaunted big bad Dodgers. Let's go Braves. And nice plus money. I'm sprinkling reverse run line 2. I chose DK up to early. Then I expected.
Ooh,
and then I
that's a
expect
good
a
one,
small
yeah.
shot by 2. I don't hate that. It's not a bad option. But that is all the games for today. Before we head on out, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys leave a like, comment, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. We appreciate all the support. Check out all links in the description below. They're about to be above Nick's head. Boom. YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. We're posting to all those platforms every single day with some shorts from the show. So if you guys are interested in following us there, all of those are linked down below. If you guys are interested in becoming a member of the YouTube channel, obviously all the plays for college baseball are scrolling across the bottom, but a complete card from what is on ESB, what is on ESB on picksandparlays.net is there, along with all my college baseball, and eventually WNBA, CFL, all that stuff will be exclusive to the member only / the site. So if you guys are interested in all that, $5.99 a month, check it out. Today's card coming later. Yes, I'm pretty much done with it. So I just have to.
And hockey's and there's not going to be any hockey on the card because the price for the Bruins is too expensive, and I took the first period under.
Good. That's fine too. Nick, do you want to quickly do a recap for you, and then I'll recap me, and then we'll head on out.
Yeah. For me, I'm on the first period under 1.5 with the Boston Bruins and the Toronto Maple Leafs minus 125 over on DraftKings. I also have on I bet it on FanDuel pre-series. I posted on Twitter the Bruins to win the series at minus 120. So I'm going to sweat that out tonight. And then in the NBA, I did not bet the game tonight, but I semi-did because I put a bet on the Denver Nuggets to win game 1 and the series at minus 120. And baseball, Yankees, Tigers, first 5 under 4, minus 115 ESPN bet. White Sox and Cardinals over 8, minus 125, bet 365. Milwaukee, Chicago, over 8.5, minus 110, Fanatics. Toronto, Washington, first 5 under 4.5, minus 120, bet 365. Oakland A's, first 5, minus 125. Oakland A's, full game, minus 135. ESPN for both. Mets, Rays, first 5 under 4, minus 110 on bet MGM. Mets, money line, full game, minus 105, bet 365. San Diego Padres, money line plus 110 on DraftKings, and the Atlanta Braves plus 160 money line on Fanatics.
There you go. I personally like Toronto tonight. I like Denver in basketball. And then I'm on the under in the Cardinals game, the over in the Brewers game, the Oakland Athletics, the Baltimore Orioles. I like Kansas City, Seattle, Mets. And that's pretty much that to end the night. College baseball, quick run through. Boston College, Kentucky, Samford minus 1.5, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State run line, Texas, Mizzou plus 2.5, Troy minus 1.5, Florida money line, NC State money line, back to LSU on the money line, Auburn money line, and Washington plus 3.5. So those are the plays in college baseball tonight. That's going to do it though. Unfortunately, we can't really bet. You can't bet ECU, and it doesn't really matter because they keep run ruling everybody. So if you lay a run line, it doesn't cash anyway because it doesn't go at least 9 innings. Florida versus Vancouver or Florida versus Colorado for the Stanley Cup?
Florida,
Toronto.
Colorado. Florida, Colorado.
Carolina, Vegas. Or Florida, Edmonton. I could see Edmonton.
I will have a significant bet on the Florida Panthers next round.
That's going to do it for this edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. We'll be back tomorrow with another one. Peace out, guys.